taught about the digital citizenship.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's a real important concept that we need to start incorporating into our curriculum or advocacy or in some way. We really need to be talking to the kids about the digital footprint that they leave and that they're responsible for it. And it can come back. I mean, there's things that they do today that are on the internet, even though they think, oh, you know, who's going to see that in 2 or 3 years? Well, they can, and they in some cases will. And, you know, I'd really, it would be very tragic to have a student denied admission into a college of their choice or denied a job of their choice because of some goofy thing that they posted on the internet when they were in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. So making them aware that that's something they need to be thinking about.
Yeah, I think one of the things we need to remember is the reality is they are posting these things. I mean, the thing, you know, it's important to bear in mind that, you know, even if we are struggling or don't want to go to this 2.0 thing, the world is happening around us. They're doing these interactive things. I mean, that's what really became clear to me. It's all, they're doing them. Are we going to be part of that, or are we going to just be something that they go to when they get this turn off? I mean, when they disconnect, they go to school, disconnect from the world that they're into, and then they go to school. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that at the reverse, we got to figure out how to kind of get at least up on the game. Norm?
I think one thing, by joining this social World Wide Web 2, it gives us an opportunity because it is so in front. Adults, parents hear about this stuff all the time. Business people hear about it all the time. Because we're set up to train faculty and students in its use, I think it gives us an open door opportunity to bring in adults that want to come in and join, so it becomes a PR thing, it becomes a community thing, it becomes a learning thing. So all of a sudden we do a better job of bonding with the community by, my guess is 80% of adults are afraid of those things. They hear the bad thing of MySpace, they hear the bad things of Facebook, so anything internet-wise is negative. Well, if we can show that they can be managed and utilized in good learning tools and make them a part of it rather than afraid of it, I think we'll do the community a service and learning.
The other thing I'd add is I think that the role that you two guys, for example, might play in our school, I went to that peer coaching piece of that, and you know, we have kind of a mentor program and a discussion on what that looks like, you know, trying to continuously improve what goes on in our classroom. The element that needs to be added is sort of what thing is out there, what fix, what technological piece that makes it easier, and that's kind of a key point that goes back to what you were saying, Norm, about, you know, we got to have we got to have the bandwidth, we got to have the tools right. But what makes it easier for you to do your job? You know, what makes it actually possible for the job to be simpler? And then what tools? I mean, this is that whole deal about, you know, the information librarian. You know, what are they going to show you that's going to make that project or that whatever goes on in the classroom better as a result of what you found electronically? I don't know. You were at that one too, right, Molly?
Yeah. And then the peer part was really interesting because they found that for teachers that it's easier for them to learn these new technologies if they're taught by someone that they trust, that they're comfortable with, and that they can apply directly to what they're doing in the classroom already. So if we can link that all up, then that's going to be just to the benefit of the teachers and get that stuff going even faster than we probably thought it was possible.
Right. Yeah, and I think the other part of it, I mean, as I walk around here, I mean, this came up in the dialogue too, that there's really a few things that you're trying to do with these tools. They really haven't changed in a way. I mean, everything about them looks different, but they haven't really changed. We do research, we do something, we produce, we connect with others, collaborate, be productive, and then communication, and then, you know, extended forms of collaboration. And if we can just look at that and make sure that as we bring these in, that they look different or that they're actually better. And I think the teachers won't buy into it until they see their students participating in a wiki, their students finding the resources or taking it to that next level. That's always what we're looking for. Even you walk around now and look at a writing project and the artifacts or the kids produce or whatever, those pieces that make us a distinctive project. And I think we want to do sort of the same thing electronically, because that'll be the world that our people work in. So, any other takeaways?
Do you remember the new slogan for the LIT program?
I promise to make students not only users, but
more efficient.
producers,
Yeah.
efficient users and producers of information.
Yeah, digital information.
Why don't you say that again?
That I promise to ensure our students become efficient users and producers of digital information. I'm sure there's more to it than that.
I'm sure there's more to it than that,
I can't
too.
remember it word for word. We said it like 5 times.
I know you guys were reciting it there.
Yeah, I have it written down somewhere.
And that is what we got to do. I mean, that's what they're so.
I think that was the big key. It's not that right now we have a tendency to make them users, and we think users is what counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
With all these technology tools, that next step will make them the problem-solving employee of tomorrow, the producer of information.
Right,
Because
exactly.
that's where we're in this world. We've got an overload of information, but now we've got to learn how to use it and produce from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is exciting about you call it a virtual library. I see a library as no longer being, like I said, that one room within the school. Actually, the school resides within the electronic library.
Well, it's the whole LIT program, you know, the Library and Information Technology Program. I mean, they found a new name for it. They've renamed it, rebranded it.
I know.
So.
Yeah, there's a new world of librarians out there. It's a little scary. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Teacher
a big thing,
librarian,
too.
right here.
Teacher librarian. We're all going to be teacher librarians at some level. So, all right. Well, I can turn this off, right? And what we're doing here is we're just the 3 of us are going to discuss what happened on the Wednesday in Seattle, and hopefully what are some of the things we'll take away from it, and just talk about it informally, see if we get anywhere. So, Norm, what are some things you're thinking about from that day?
Well, I think the dream that we gave birth to at the Coeur d'Alene conference and the library thing became more real and more possible in my mind at this NCCE, and even broader than we thought. There are more tools than I realized we need that were available, and I began to realize that as a technology person for this building, to really help us achieve the e-school, virtual library, whatever you want to declare, I need some serious work on infrastructure, some serious work in my mind, working in conjunction with Molly, determining what skills and in what sequence they should be delivered not only to students but to teachers. And then for me, even with the things that I need to learn to be able to support, because I know if we try to teach adults especially any new skill and the infrastructure doesn't support it well and it continually breaks down,
Right.
their period of learning desire will disappear in a hurry.
I'd agree with you, and I don't know if I can do this, but anyway, I think that's a key point, that we need to get our act together essentially so that we give people all these tools, it actually works, because that's definitely going to be a stumbling block for us. I mean, we're at the limit of our capacity right now, like you and I talked about on the drive over.
Well, I think one other thing that we also discussed, I think we're trying to figure out how do you get these people started, because the teachers already feel overwhelmed. We had mentioned on our trip home that potentially the way is Alan had discussed making some questionnaires on content. One other thing that we also discussed, I think we're trying to figure out how do you get these people started, because the teachers already feel overwhelmed. We had mentioned on our trip home that potentially the way is Alan had discussed making some questionnaires on content delivery from a kid's point of view, and putting up a questionnaire. I think it was what, a poster wall.
But wall post, I'll
post.
talk about that on my takeaways, because that's one of the things.
And I'm beginning to think that we might lead the teachers in once we show them student activity and performance and buy-in, because I think there were some amazing tools that we just got to learn, got to be able to utilize.
Well, you want to talk in the library conference? Do you want to tell the folks what you said earlier today about the big message that you picked up?
Which big message? I think that's
It's happening.
Oh, that it's not optional. Yeah,
It's not optional.
This is not optional. This is we get on board and we do it as quickly and efficiently as possible, and hold on, because it's coming, and we just need to get our kids prepared for it.
Talked about what 2.0 means?
Well, the Web 2.0, it became pretty obvious that it's a very broad, sweeping concept. It's not a specific thing. It's not any one thing you can point at, but it's a concept or evolution on the internet, that there are tools and applications available for free that will do any innumerable things to enrich education for students, to make things more dynamic, to make presentations more dynamic, so that it's reaching students.
And do you want to tell in the library conference?
Which big message? I think
It's happening.
Oh, that it's not optional. Yeah,
it's not optional.
This is not optional. This is, we get on board and we do it as quickly and efficiently as possible, and hold on, because it's coming, and we just need to get our kids prepared for it.
Well, what I saw that was interesting that I hadn't thought of before is that Molly, quote, the teacher librarian and technology, we are one department because technology is no longer an independent department. It is a support to the educational process, and by the two of us marrying our skills, our sequencing it all and taking it one step at a time. Otherwise, we can become so overwhelmed with the possible that we never get any steps taken.
Yeah, Norm, if you want to hold that a sec, I'll just add a few things that I